So Cape Town Marathon has come and gone. You've seen all the videos, you've seen all the photos, you've seen all the medal Mondays. And now that the hype has died down a little bit, I just thought, let's get into how it went for me. But first, let's actually find a decent place to sit because, look at this place. But yeah, before we kind of get into it, a special shout out to Adidas for dropping this bracelet. Yeah, they really came through with the colors. They had different kinds of combinations, but I kind of think this blue and gold looks pretty sick. A collab between Adidas and Kolisi, the Springbok captain, and his foundation. But yeah, as you can see, this is the shoe that has now taken me through 2 Cape Town marathons, the Adidas Pro 3, and probably this last race being the last race that I'll end up running with this shoe. But yeah, special shout out because I have now about 3 marathons that I've run with the shoe, as well as about 800 Ks that I've used this shoe in training runs, race runs ranging from 5, 10, all the way up to 42 kilometers. So yeah, special shout out to Adidas designs on these. But yeah, as we all know, every marathoner will tell you that the race pretty much starts at the 30th kilometer mark. So let's kind of jump the first 20 Ks, first 30 Ks. Because yeah, I think if you've trained any bit decently well, those are the first parts where your body's feeling okay, you're cruising along, and everything is actually going to plan when you're at that point. So yeah, I got to 35 Ks, and there's quite now an infamous hill all the way up when you get to the city center, running past the Parliament and looking to join Main Street, which is almost a flattish finish all the way to the end. So I got to 32 kilometers feeling relatively strong. And looking at my splits in hindsight, I can actually see that I was holding up better than I thought I would. With the initial plan being to kind of go at the 5:30, 5:40 pace. And by the time I got to that point, I was running comfortably with the sub 4 hour bus that was arranged. Yeah, 30, 32, 35 kilometers, negotiating some of the hills and kind of cruising at this point. And things really started to kind of go a little bit sideways when I got to the 35th to 40 kilometer mark. And this is now when you're approaching the second infamous part of the course, which is the loop, where you're running all the way past the finish point at Greenpoint Stadium. You run all the way to the very end where you get to the scenic and beautiful place in Cape Town called Sea Point. And it's a loop, so you run all the way down, which is about a 3 to 4 kilometer stretch and 3 to 4 kilometer coming back. So by the time I got to the end of the loop, I was now starting to cramp up quite severely. I actually started to feel my hamstrings start to kind of tense up a little bit. And so I then started walking a little bit because I thought to myself, look, I've ran 30s, 35s, I ran 36 at most leading up to this marathon. So I know I have it in me to kind of finish. And at that point, I think I was on for a 3:54 finish at the 35th kilometer mark. I think if I just kept six minutes per K, I would be on for a sub 4 hour finish, but also having run about 3 hours 54 minutes in total. So yeah, I was looking forward to that. But things kind of didn't go according to plan with the run walk that I had to do around that 35th kilometer. And really, I was now passing some runners who I could see were also having a bit of a torrid time. And funnily enough, I hope at the time I publish this, I'll have the picture. But I finished quite strongly with one of the guys that I met along the way. And I was encouraging him to go along because he was having the sense of, he can't do it. I think he was running his first marathon. So it was, a pretty nice finish, which let's face it, that's what the marathon is all about, right? Experiencing all of these feels together. But yeah, the gist of it is a 4 hours, 4 minute finish. And yeah, ran comfortable for the most parts. But I think the lessons that I can take from this run, number one, have to do with strength training. I think I did quite a, I didn't do quite, I didn't do strength training extensively in this marathon training block. And I think the second one, probably the most important one, is I think the mileage I was doing per week was relatively low. I think it was the kind of mileage you do to finish a marathon, but not necessarily want to run a personal best by 3-4 minutes, which is kind of what I was ambitiously aiming for. But I think also now factoring in how I felt within the first 35 kilometers, I think it gives me great hope for the next training block going in, to fix up that strength training and to work on that mileage per week in order to have a really strong finish towards the end of any marathon. But yeah, keep running.